dive bars, and gyms. These, my dear friends, are the two great equalizers in our world. Here are the three rules that all good taverns and training gyms have in common. And here is what they tell us about what we all have in common. Lift 'em up. Here's to finding our commonality where dive bars meet barbells at the crossroads of high intensity and happy hour.
I love this bar.
And it's time for another unbuckled bumpy ride with your guide, the stark raving LEAN-atic himself. I'm Jim. Let's jump right in again. Welcome to my podcast based on my brand new book, available on Amazon, Live Life Lean, L-E-A-N. It's a year-long guide to gratitude and our daily grind. The book that combines some timeless wisdom from a whole lot of the world's wiser people with the reflections, reactions, and wisecracks of the guide's author, me. And it guides you, the reader, through the simplest system for a happy, healthy, authentic, and genuinely grateful everyday experience. I urge you to get the book. Of course I do. I wrote it. It's either at Amazon or at my website, ampurage.com. A-M-M-P-U-R-A-G-E. But even without it, let's make next week better than last, our next year better than the past, and get started now with today's episode of Blame It All on My Roots. I did push-ups in the corner booth and ruined your dive bar affair. One last rep to go. Push it up hard and slow. Bet that was the last thing you thought you'd see there. Well, I saw the surprise in that big bouncer's eyes, and I heard that bartender complain. Then I looked at you and said, my workout's not through, but a dive bar ain't no place to weight train. 'Cause I've got friends in both places. Yep, places where the whiskey will drown you and where the workout will waste you. Yeah, dive bars and barbells, I love both places. See, as juxtaposed as most folks suppose, I 100% believe in, and I will cuss and fuss and fight to defend the fact. Yes, the fact. I say that in the American culture, and lots of European and Latin cultures as well, the training gyms and taverns, in dive bars and where there are barbells, it's where we find our real equality. And it's found in our commonality. Our commonality is demonstrated in three key things. Keys to our getting along, keys to our getting and giving genuine respect and appreciation, and keys to unlocking our mutually shared experiences and dreams, while sometimes escaping our mutually feared nightmares. Well, welcome my fellow worldly barflies and folks who like to do chest flies to the podcast dedicated to appreciating, celebrating, and hopefully even replicating some of the big-ass fun that we find in ground-level bars and gyms. Welcome to Dive Bars and Barbells. And I'm about to prove to you that inside these two diverse universes are the examples of how we should best treat each other and stop beating up on each other. And we're going to tell stories here, stories of gym and barbell lifting legends, and we're going to hear from some folks in bars who can tell some pretty legendary stories. And I believe that we will all find something in common when we approach the bar, for our personal best or just a personal toast. But for today, let's get our blood pumping and our logic limbered up by looking at the three rules that all great taverns and training gyms have in common and how they teach us why we can best learn equality through the commonality that's found at the crossroads where dive bars meet barbells. See, with dive bars and gyms, happy hour or high intensity intervals, it don't matter if you arrive at either of them in a Mercedes or on a skateboard. Don't matter. In a dive bar, you spend $40. It doesn't matter if you put it on your Amex, pulled it from your glove box, or it fell out of your back pocket. All the bar and everyone else in there cares is that you pay your tab. Just don't leave the place a bigger mess than you found it. Don't start any trouble, and respect everyone else's right to enjoy their experience. Even if you don't understand why they watered down their whiskey, or wonder, how anyone could ever think of having a drink without a tiny paper parasol poking out of it. Just respect, and occasionally buy a round and then leave and take your skateboard or your SL Merc home, preferably safe and sober. Now, let's look at somewhere else where sweats are worn and sweats are broken. Same two versions of you, though. Mercedes or skateboard you, taking them to your workout. Every gym is filled with folks from diverse realities on the outside, but inside that gym, you know if the guy with the Mercedes gets a 250-pound bench press bar stuck on his chest, the guy with the skateboard came over, spotted him, helped him get it off his chest, they're equals, and they know it. The millionaire didn't insist on waiting for someone from the same Thurstonhowe the Third Country Club, the one that he belongs to be the only one who lent a hand and didn't just leave him hanging. And on the subject of bench pressing, I have to make a confession. Something that I've been hiding. I'm not bench pressing anymore. Wow. Well, that took a real weight off my chest. Okay, now that I unloaded that pun, let's revisit the gym rules again. Don't leave the place a bigger mess than you found it. Don't start any trouble. And respect everyone else's right to enjoy their experience, even if it doesn't make sense to you. And I gotta say, some people do the most interesting looking exercises in gyms these days. Have you seen this stuff? But hey, watch and maybe learn, Kind of like everything I need to know I learned in kindergarten. They're simple truths. Truths like, don't start nothing. Don't leave the place a bigger mess than you found it, and respect everyone's right and reason for being there, even if it doesn't make sense to you. Rule number 1, don't start nothing. Did you hear about the 2 jumper cables? So 2 jumper cables walk into a bar, and one of them says, "We'd like a couple of beers, please." The bartender looks and says, "Okay, but don't start anything." Because that's what jumper cables do. And don't start nothing that you can't be guaranteed to finish without winding up in jail. You go to jail because of something you did at a dive or a gym, you won't be happy. Jail's bad. They got the wrong kind of bars in there. Rule number 2, don't leave the place a bigger mess than you found it. Re-rack your weights and don't be a dumbbell. You hate it, starting out your workout, but you're missing what you need to proceed. Hell, the only thing that you're not missing is the messy sweat that someone left behind for someone else to clean up. Barbells or bars are basically the same. If you're in a capacitated state, don't incapacitate the bathroom facilities for someone else. You cause that clog. You make the call to unclog that stall. Finally, rule number 3, respect everyone's right to their experience there. Don't be a douchebag. But you are welcome to be a weasel. Because a weasel once walked into a bar. The bartender says, "Wow, I've never served a weasel before. What can I get you?" "Pop," goes the weasel. Because everyone knows that weasels can't handle their liquor. Anyways, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter why they're there, to get buzzed themselves or just to be part of the buzz. And see, if folks are there to sip Chianti or swig Coronas, that bar ain't your universe. It's just yours to share. Sharing your opinion about someone else's drink or choice of outfit of the day is not always a smart thing to say. And as for the barbell exercise execution and selection possibility, if you're watching something and they didn't ask, don't assume that yours is the only answer. Offering advice is not the same thing as ordering others around. It reminds me of another walked into a bar pun. A man with an authority complex walks into a bar and he orders everyone around. Wait for it. Hell, I've been doing this for nearly 40 years, y'all, and I still don't have all the answers in the gym, but I do know when it's time to just ask the right, respectful questions and then open your mind as you shut your mouth and listen. Speaking of shutting your mouth, there is an Irish legendary tale that I wish I had written. I didn't, but I wish I had. But I'm glad someone did. It's about John O'Reilly. John O'Reilly was at the bar. John O'Reilly hoisted his beer and said, "Here's to spending the rest of me life between the legs of me beautiful wife." That won John O'Reilly the top prize at the pub for the best toast of the night. He went home 3 sheets to the breeze and told his wife, "Mary, I won the prize for the best toast of the night." And she said, "I did you now? Did you now, John? And what was your toast?" John said, "Here's to spending the rest of me life, sitting in church beside me wife." "Oh, that's very nice indeed, John," Mary said. The next day, Mary did run into one of John's drinking buddies on the street corner. The man chuckled leeringly and said, "John won the prize the other night at the pub with a toast about you, Mary." She said, "Aye, he told me, and I was a bit surprised myself. You know, he's only been there twice in the last 4 years. Once he fell asleep, and the other time I had to pull him by the ears to get him to go there." Remember what the toast was? See, legendary tales can be told in bars, but here you could hold the beer and have it be about barbells with the same ending. John went home, told his wife, "Mary, I won the prize for the best toast of the night." She said, "Aye, did you now? And what was your toast?" John said, "Here's to spending the rest of me life at the gym in a yoga class beside me wife." "Oh, that's a very nice indeed toast." The man chuckles and said, "John won the prize of the other toast of the best of the night. What do you think about that, Mary?" "Aye, he told me. And I was a bit surprised myself. You know, he's only been there twice in the last 4 years. Once he passed out from overdoing himself, and the other time I had to pull him by the ears to get him to go there, kicking and screaming." Talking about the gym. See, taverns and training, dive bars and gyms, both are the stuff of legends and legendary stories and lots of bad jokes. And I look forward to visiting both with you frequently for our unforeseen future. And together, let's learn a little. Let's laugh a lot. Let's leave the place none the worse for wear having been there. Don't start nothing. Come on. We need to rethink our act, re-rack our stack, and respect people to their face and behind their back. That's all that both taverns and training gyms really expect. And pay what you owe before you leave. And that's what your fellow dive bar flies and barbell gals and guys, that's what they're going to notice and what they're going to know you for and want more of. You don't have to always like them or even be like them to be liking the same place just like them. Earlier, I said it was a fact. A fact, I said, that in our modern culture, equality was best found in bars and gyms. And though I still believe it's truth, I'm not sure that I've proven it as a fact. So I guess I could have been wrong. I've gone on too long. But then there's more to explore. Every bar's neon sign will invite us to find our way in and out their front door. And every gym workout floor gives you a chance to push a bit more on the bench press or in yoga class. Both dive bars and barbells see us all just alike. We're all just asked to not behave like an ass. Oh, I've got friends in both places where the whiskey will drown you and where workouts will waste you. Yet dive bars and barbells, I love both places. Here's a toast to dive bars and to barbells and to friends who should just learn to shut their damn mouths when they're around our spouse. I didn't mean that their whole mouth was actually around, my spouse, our spouse. I didn't mean the way it came out. Screw it. Bottoms up.
Shh. It's early. So I'm either sneaking in from a bar or sneaking off to my gym. But either way, the wife is asleep. So here's your words of wisdom. So wow your socks off from the Live Life Lean Guide itself. Today's entry, page 223. What did the experts say? Whoever drinks a beer, he's quick to sleep. Whoever sleeps long doesn't sin. And whoever doesn't sin enters heaven. Thus, hey, let's drink beer. That was from Martin Luther. But what did your guide hear? I know a guy who once pointed out that the communal sharing qualities of good ale by reminding us all that there is no I in BEER. So what do you think of this? Using the Live Life Lean Guided System? What have you learned recently that's new? What have you earned that wasn't just handed to you? Where are you adding to the world? It's not just about you. But before you navigate to the next tavern or training gym, please like, subscribe, be grateful for the day, and share this to show you care.
Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying your copy of the Live Life Lean, LEAN guide, enjoying it almost as much as I did creating it. And if you don't have a copy yet, go on over to amperage.com or Amazon and get started today experiencing the amazing power of knowing every day is literally yours to be grateful about, and you need never feel unfulfilled again. I'm Jim Hall, and until next time, good health, God bless, and now go get a little dirty learning something new, earning what's not given to you, adding to this crazy world that we share, and navigating your way to something new and next.